Hello and welcome everyone, it is me, the Laval, also known as the Power to Duelist, back for you with a Morphtronic deck profile. Sooner than expected, but I went to locals over this weekend twice, and this is the list I played on Sunday, which did feel very great. So I'd want to, kind of elaborate on some of the choices that I made, maybe some of the things you can maybe take away from this for your locals experience. If you are, planning on taking this deck to locals, which it was a great experience. Did get like a small bit of cheers for, Morphtronics when I went to collect my packs for coming in second to last. This did went 0-2 and 2. So technically this is an X2 deck profile, but not in a good way. I played August Horus, from what I've heard, August Horus Tier Elements. Round 1, drew that match. Played Runick Bystial round 2. I lost that match 1 and 2. Played against Nemlaria round 3, which I tied again, and then I played against Runick Horus in round 4, which I did lose 0-2, with that game 2 being the most unplayable hand I opened that entire afternoon. It was like a fairly small crowd. So yeah, I'm probably not going to be like too in depth on like a lot of the Morphtronics. If you want like more in depth, like talk about these, check out the other videos on this channel. This is mainly, some of the non-engine choices, some of the side deck choices, and some of the changes I would want to make. 3 Morphtronics self-on. Summoning from deck is an incredibly powerful effect, even if tied to 2 RNG conditions. Great card, yeah. Not a whole lot more to add. Then I'm on 3 Smartphone. This can special summon itself from hand. Special summon level 1 tuners are always great by banishing a Morphtronic from the grave and similar to Self-on. We're once again looking at a card, adding an archetypal card from deck to hand is crazy, even if it's tied to 2 RNG conditions, that being, in both cases, a die roll and revealing top cards from your deck. The more infamous one, we're playing 3 Telephone, the Time Win Con. I did win that second August game after going down from 11k to 8,200. Just because, Telephone gains you a lot of life if you start comboing. Summoning back Morphtronics from the graveyard is great, especially if it's self-on to get more dudes from the deck. So, yeah, there is that. 3 Remoten, this is your one piece of, targeted searching, because this can target a Morphtronic in grave, banish it, and then add a Morphtronic with the same level from deck to hand. You do have, an awful lot of level 1s that you can easily cycle through, which are all very central to your combos. So I think Remoten is an absolutely amazing card. Playing 1 Boombox and more for the numbers and some added help to make Nat Beast, because you can convert her into this, but that's kind of all it does. Playing 3 Gadget Gamer and a Gadget Hauler. Gadget Gamer adds you a level 1 machine, adds the most important pieces of the deck, tributes itself, puts a Morphtronic from hand on the board, and the Gadget Hauler from hand or deck. Did draw this in that, infamous game 2 against Horus Runick, where I opened 2 Smartphone, the Hauler, and 2 Talents. The one game that day where I opened 2 Talents. It was quite unfortunate. But yeah, crazy card, is a 1-card power tool dragon, which is already like a good bit of setup to get you going. The small package that we still play are 1 Redox, 2 Reactant. Opted out of the reactants on Friday, and I did miss them dearly. These were great on Sunday. Just getting Morphtronics into the grave, potentially summoning a Redox from the deck, potentially pulling an Ash out of my opponent's hand. Very great, felt good. Redox is either great to draw because he's an extender, because you can discard him and another Earth to summon a guy from the grave. Or it's just like a follow-up 7 body. You can just keep banishing Earths and putting him on the board, which does help a lot on follow-up turns, because nowadays you do need a bit of follow-up to even your silly combo decks. And I think this is like a very good way to go about it. Going into the spells, we're playing a 1/1 for added consistency, a Caught by the Grave against hand traps, because that's the one thing this deck really doesn't like. 3 converter. This helps kind of straighten out your lines a bit, getting you access to specific pieces when you need them, which is just kind of nice when you can, for once skip a die roll and just keep comboing. 3 repair units, kind of an archetypal premature burial, nice enough that this is addable off OG Power to Dragon. Discards Morphtronics, summons one from grave, equips it to it. The 3 braver equips are Life Extreme, Super Magic Sword of Raptiness, and a Metal Silver Armor, but more on that later. These 2 form a targeting lock, and this drops opponent's monster that battle with your equipped monster by 1500, which is kind of nice. Also technically gives you like a pop if a monster's battle position on the field is changed. So that's kind of cute. But yeah, these are mainly here because we're playing braver. For non-engine, I'm on 3 Fenrir. I would like to tell you guys this is replaceable, but sadly it isn't. I did draw this guy a lot on Sunday, and he was great every single time. Replaces itself, is a free 7, which, is a very advantageous stat line for, the synchros you want to make in this deck. More on those later. And just helps breaking boards, which kind of was like the approach I took with non-engine compared to Friday. Friday I was on like a couple hand traps, which you probably saw in like the profile that I uploaded earlier this month. I opted to, for the rest of my non-engine main, 3 droplet, 3 talents. Ideally, you would want one of these to probably be a thrust. Just to, straighten out, the chances a bit. I only drew 2 talents once. And in that game, it didn't even matter, which was that brick against Runick Horus. Droplet was great. I lost the die roll against Runick Bystial initially. Opponent goes to setup, even if he has to take like a slightly weirder line. And I get to droplet like a Baronet, like an important choke. In my combo, when I, start playing on my turn, this is a good way to either, at least get some usage out of, these 3 idiots. Because, at the end of the day, Braver can also equip from grave, and you do have like some silly interactions with this, where you can like send a telephone you just activated, and then just like resummon the same telephone you sent as cost for this, because it just resummons itself. So yeah, that is that for the main deck. I did spend a whole lot of time rambling once again, but I'm only good at one thing. Speedrunning the extra deck a bit. Power to Dragon grabs you repair unit. Power to Braver Dragon is cool and just an incredibly good endboard piece to make. Excelsior Crusaders makes Braver a whole lot easier to make. A Baron de Fleur here as a generic Omni Negate. A Naturia Beast because it's an incredibly powerful card. Both Runick players were quaking in their boots for the chance that I could drop this against them. Uponn to more easily make a Naturia Beast, and then we have a Formula Synchron capping of the Synchro lineup. This is mostly here just because you can run it. I think I would want to replace this, in the future with something else. I do have a couple things in mind. Mainly the Sword Soul level 10 Cheng Ying. That could have been very nice in a couple games. And I just want to, experiment with it. Because, late at night, after testing, we were kind of talking about like a couple more extra deck options. And Cheng Ying was like one of the first ones I mentioned, but I sadly did not have a Cheng Ying, so I will probably be looking to fix that in the future. This is 7 Synchro monsters in total. For the more expensive Link lineup, an Underworld Goddess, an Appaloosa for going first, an Axis Code Talker for going second, Nightmare Unicorns and Phoenix for some additional spot removal. I ended up playing a copy of Ossa, and this was great. Especially on Friday, I found myself in a lot of situations where I did get like hand trapped once or twice and ended on like Link Kuriboh Formula Synchron, which just like wasn't great. And also kind of, took over that spot. Also, it's just like kind of something you can very easily chill on. Most decks will not kill you after 2 hand traps, and also will grab you follow up if you already have like a good bit of engine and grave. She basically grabs you any Morphtronic. Technically can also grab Gadget Gamer, which is kind of nice. So yeah, also was absolutely great. IP Masquerader, just for some more easy link climbing, and a Link Kuriboh to wrap off the 15 card extra deck. For the side deck, we have 3 copies. For the monsters, we have 3 Nibiru, 3 Droll. These were kind of nice against the Runick decks. This was fine. I put this in once. I think in siding especially, I think in a lot of games I could have just like taken a step back, sat back, let my opponent play, and just like let board breakers win the game for me. But I did not. But that is, like a player mistake on my part, not really an issue with the side deck, I feel like. But yeah, these two are kind of good against the right matchups. That is why I felt like siding these was fine. Draw is pretty good this format overall. I'm actually siding some synchros. I'm siding a Draco Berserker of the 10-year and an FA Dawn Dragster. This guy was just like as another big idiot. And against Nemlaria, that probably could have gone in handy if, game 2 wasn't already like close to time and I won that in time off the telephone. Dawn Dragster was here as like a theoretically additional spell trap negate to like have some more evenly proofing. But this guy didn't come up once. Not once did I have the feeling, I need the Dawn Dragster now. So yeah, Draco Berserker was kind of nice. Also kind of, a smaller Cheng Ying, I guess, because it's just a big idiot that punches hard. But yeah, those two. In a lot of cases, I would side out the Formula Synchron for the Draco Berserker. And then the one funny that I pulled is Archfiend's Staff of Despair. This is, in theory, something you can swap out your Braver equips for, which gives you 2 more non-engine slots going second. With the 9 that you're already playing, you are up to 11. And technically, I think you can, going second, opt out of Called By or, the Boombox and get up to 12 non-engine slots, which is kind of nice. Which does give you a relatively high chance at finding like non-engine, which it's kind of cute. It's just for the math essentially. Archfiend Staff of Despair, I feel like it's just like the one good standalone equip you can put on a Braver. This can once per turn drop your opponent's entire board by half the equipped monster's attack, which is kind of nice if you're going second playing into boards. So like even drawing isn't terrible. And the nice part about this is that if it's sent from field to grave, you can pay 1,000, add it back from graveyard to hand, and re-equip it. Kind of giving you, a recurable equip for the Braver without like a whole lot of input. Still making the Braver alive. This was like the whole bit of theory behind this. I think it was kind of cute. There wasn't like one game where I did side a whole lot of stuff. Because in a lot of cases after siding I went first, which is why I would probably make like a couple changes to the side deck. But you're always smarter in hindsight. Then playing a lot of board breakers. A Duster, 2 Lightning Storm, and then 3 Evenlies. Realistically, I would have liked for the Dawn Dragster and the 2 Lightning Storm to be like Cosmic Cyclone. Cosmic Cyclone would have been so sick, because I could have also sided that in going first. Drawn that against like the Runick decks, the Horus decks would have been very sick. But I did not think of that. I was like, okay, yeah, if I go second, I go second, and this is like my oversight as a player in siding. I think I could have like very easily just like said, okay, you go first, and then just smugly drawn into evenly Lightning Storm and probably won like a couple games off of that. But I didn't do that. Because I have not played a whole lot of games in best of 3 format. Because, not really a whole lot of ways to play Yu-Gi-Oh! IRL for me. And if I play Yu-Gi-Oh! It's most likely, MD, just a couple Edo games with friends where we just, don't side. Because, I'd rather not want a game decided by end of battle. But yeah, this was the list that I played. Again, it felt great. I would like to build upon this. And maybe you guys can take some of, the things that I learned here away for your own locals experience. In general, it was an absolutely amazing experience. I met a lot of cool people, got to talk to a lot of cool people, as mentioned at the start. Even if I got second to last, going 0-2-2, just like going like up there to like collect my 2 OTS and having like a couple, Morphtronics shouts from the other players. It was kind of hype, it really felt great. Games were back and forth, you had a couple turns of, building a board, playing into your opponent plays into your board, you play into your opponent's board, and then, in a lot of cases, this deck does run out of steam at that point, but some games did last a bit longer, especially that Nemlaria game one it was a drag. Got this guy down to like 150 life, and I could not finish it because I ran out of big idiots to make. But in general, it was a lot of fun. It was a whole lot of fun, and I cannot recommend going to locals enough if you have the means to do it. List felt good. Talked about a couple of the changes that I want to make, which I probably will make in the coming weeks. Probably not for locals, but just like for general play, because I really like where this is headed. Huge shout outs and thanks to Dyer and his neighbor for testing with me, being just people to bounce ideas off of. It was an absolute blast, and also of course the people that I met there. So yeah, with all that out of the way, I will thank you guys very much for watching and see you guys again next time. But until then, goodbye.